Hey guys, how we doing? Time for another early morning coffee with Paul. I'm not quite sure if I should be apologizing or demonstrating some elements of sarcasm here, but the last video I did and the text that I put with it on some of my social media channels seemed to have confused some of the fine people out there who had got the impression that I was departing from IBM, and it couldn't be further from the truth. If you actually read what I wrote and watch the video again, you will notice that I'm saying quite clearly that I have had nearly 24 years with IBM, and I am looking forward to a continued future and career with IBM. So no, I am not leaving IBM, as far as I'm aware anyway, unless IBM themselves have got some secret plans for me that I'm not aware of yet, but I'm not leaving. I absolutely fantastically love working for IBM. It's a cool company to work for, and I look forward to continue working with IBM. But that was not the focus for this video today, because a lot of people have also got in contact with me around the subject of mentoring and how do they get a good mentor relationship, how do they find a mentor to help them in their career. In actual fact, some of you even contacted me, and I'm really flattered and honored, asking if I would be your mentor. And the simple answer is maybe, because you cannot, in my perspective, you cannot force a mentorship relationship, just like you can't force a friendship. To me, a mentorship relationship and a close friendship are almost the same things. You end up building a fantastic friendship with a mentor because it's based on deep trust, respect, and a common understanding. You would have discussions with your mentor the same way as you would have a discussion with a best friend forever or a close friend. Yes, a lot of mentorship relationships actually start off with a common purpose, a common goal, but you very quickly start moving towards that very close relationship which spans any specific objective or activity or task. Now I see you've got mentors, you also have what I would call coaches and advisors. Now, I'd happily be an advisor or a coach for any of you. And very often a mentorship relationship will come from the start of a coaching or advising relationship. Advising and coaching tends to be very much focused on specific objectives, specific tasks. So very often in a company, when you get assigned a mentor or told that someone will mentor you, really what you're doing is you're ending up with a coach or an advisor, someone that will coach you or advise you through a specific number of tasks or activities in your job, your career, etc. Mentorship is a lot wider than that. A mentor is someone you could almost sit down with and say, hey, I'm not happy at work. I'm not happy with what I'm doing. I'd like to do something different. In actual fact, should I change jobs? Should I look outside of the company elsewhere? And the mentor will sit down with you and have those discussions with you. And you can have those without any fear of reprimand or it going to management or anywhere else, right? So all of my mentors, I have not gone to directly and said, without knowing them, will you be my mentor? There's certain people in IBM and across the industry that I work in that I maybe admire and I respect, and I would, in a nice way, study them to learn from them, and I might ask them to coach me a little bit in certain things, like maybe getting better at public speaking as a good example, or advise me in writing better blog posts or those sort of things. But then they're a coach or an advisor. They're not a mentor. Now, some of my mentors, like I've got a fantastically good mentor called Rishik Parmar. He is a fellow in IBM, and he's been my mentor for a longer period of time. And that relationship started with us working together on common activities, and we built a close relationship which has become a mentorship relationship. And very often with the people that I mentor, it's in the same way. I've been assigned many people in IBM where I've been told, will you mentor this person? And it's really a coaching activity. Will I help them to get to their next level of certification, or will I help them to progress their career a little bit? Sometimes it ends up as a true mentor relationship, because let's remember, mentoring is give and take. Both parties have to get just as much out of it. When I mentor someone, I dedicate my time, and therefore I give my time to them to help them, to work with them, and I get something out of it as well. Everybody that I am a mentor for, to a certain degree, they end up being my mentor as well, because there's things that I could learn out of it. So my advice is, if you are seeking a mentor, is don't go up to someone assuming on the first point they're going to be your mentor and say, hey, will you be my mentor? Rather go up to them with a specific question. One specific thing that you would really like them to advise you on, so as an advisor. And very importantly, whatever advice they give you, do it. Now, whether it's successful or not, do it and return to them later and say, I tried, it didn't work. Or I tried this many times and it didn't work. Or I tried and it worked. Because if you go back to them with another question, the first thing that's going to be going through their head is, well, what happened with the first activity that we talked about? Based on that, you can then start building that rapport. You don't start off as a mentor. You start off as someone that can give you some advice or recommendations. And then you build on from that. Building a mentorship relationship takes months, if not years. Will I be your mentor? Get in contact with me again. Let's start with one activity or another activity, and we can go from there and see what happens. But we need to have a common ground to start from, something that pulls us together to build that relationship. Because at the end of the day, we want to have mutual trust and respect and a common objective for what you want to achieve. All right, guys, have a fantastic day. And again, just to reiterate, not leaving IBM, okay? I absolutely think it's a fantastic company to work from. Have a good week. Talk to you again next week, guys. Bye-bye.